All right, we're back on the show here. It's me, Hugh, and Veronica has decided to stick around and co-host for the rest of the show. Veronica, I know what you said. You said to me, we get to meet some interesting people, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And so this is, we have Susan Collins here now, who's very interesting because she's past president of the Canadian Society of Dowsers, a current ambassador, has been Dowser of the Year. So, and you're here today, you're introducing a new product.
I am.
A new life cards.
A new life cards.
So that's very cool.
It's an oracle deck.
Yeah.
So with all the dowsing I've done, dowsing is just the detection and transformation of energy with specific tools.
Yeah.
And through all my years of consulting and working with people, I've tried to, and I've written various books, as you know, the hold up all the books.
Yeah, you left a couple with us the last
did.
time.
The book on orbs last time.
Orbs, because we got orbs like crazy around here.
Yeah, no, they're pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, you got to come here at night sometimes and see them on the infrared cameras.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun. So I've been dowsing, I've been writing books, I've been doing personal consulting and readings and all this kind of thing. But there's only one of me and there's many people out there.
Right.
And not everybody knows what dowsing is. And so I've sometimes worked with people who seriously don't have a clue what I'm talking about.
So let's start there.
Okay.
Because when I mentioned you to Veronica, she said, "What's dowsing?" I said, "It's when you take those sticks and you're trying to find water on your property." And so here, maybe you could just show her what...
I'm really fascinated to know exactly what this is.
Okay, well, the tools, whether it's the sticks, L-rods, or a pendulum, and I forgot my pendulum today, so I can use my car keys. Anything that moves can be a pendulum. The tools are just a biofeedback device, so my body system already knows something, and the tools can respond with energy. So we just heard a car honking, and I say, please point in the direction where the car was, and it's pointing over. Oh, it's moving. It's moving.
The car's moving.
The car's moving. Isn't that interesting? I don't usually do moving targets. We normally go, where's the cat, or where's the washroom, or where's the water, or where are the minerals, where's the gold, where's the lost glasses.
So if you lost your keys, you could use that to find your keys?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's very cool. The other way to find your keys, so there's dowsing, which I find is the most amazing modality for finding information, but there are many ways to get to the same place. So for keys being lost, for example, what I typically do is to ask a light to be shone on the keys, and then for the keys to be brought to a place I'll find them. Just like that car was moving, like where's the car? Well, now it's gone. So when you lose your keys, like maybe it's in a jacket pocket or something, and it goes from room to room. So you can shine a light and ask for the keys to be brought back.
Right.
That's full on intuition there. So dowsing is tools, but we're actually harnessing our intuition.
No, I'm just going to say, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I remember when I was a kid and I first heard about dowsing, and I just thought, that sounds a little weird, because, we had that very kind of, left brain, logical mindset, and all that kind of mystical stuff was kind of all...
We weren't allowed to talk about it.
It was not scientific or whatever, but now it seems all that kind of stuff is... very much in vogue, and
well, now that we know more about quantum physics, quantum mechanics, that was considered very woo-woo. Back in 1920, it was like, oh, that's ridiculous. Quantum physics, that's ridiculous. And now, 100 years later, we're starting to be able to accept quantum physics, and the quantum physics relates to the dowsing as well. That for detection, we talked about this last time I was on the show, I think, but it's quantum entanglement. That what has ever happened to any two particles when they are together, when they're separated, what you do on one affects the other one.
Right.
And since everything was together at the Big Bang, it really gives us unlimited access to be able to influence things. Quantum physics also tells us that observing the particles changes their behavior.
Right.
So the whole point of intuition technology is to observe with intention. You observe with intention, and instead of a random change, you can, we talked about this on the program last time, it's the quantum wave of possibilities. When you observe it, it coalesces.
It
into-
collapses the
it-
wave function.
Collapses the wave function,
Yeah.
and energy becomes matter. That's how we manifest. So
That's
that's
yeah.
modern alchemy.
That's why we're still here.
Yeah, well, some of us have already left.
I know, but I mean, sometimes when I think, here we are, like, well, I don't know what it is, 70 years or 80 now after the
I'm not that old.
atomic bomb. I'm just
Okay.
going to say,
Okay.
right? You know, you think we would have blown ourselves up by now,
It's amazing we haven't.
but I mean, we could have blown ourselves up last week. But we're still here,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because maybe it's that intention applied to our experience that you know, keeps creating that. I always compare it like remember Gumby?
Gumby, yep.
Remember the
Yep.
train? The track would always go ahead of the train, right? So
Oh,
it
that's
could
good.
Go
That's
anywhere.
good.
It could
It
go
goes-
anywhere because the track could lay itself going forward.
Yep. That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
I think globally, as human beings, we want to live. We all have a strong desire to live
Yeah.
and for our children to live. So there is a massive intention to live, which perhaps overrides
All that other stuff.
that other stuff. Because there's individuals who have the ability to push that button
Yeah.
and haven't.
Right.
Even when they've been told to, they haven't.
Okay. Okay. Listen, let's get busy. We got a lot of stuff to talk about here today.
I know.
We still have to. You have to explain the new life cards to
Okay,
us,
thank
right?
you, I will.
And
So,
we have some visual.
Maybe we can have the next
stuff.
slide.
Can we look at that slide? And
There he is.
There we go.
Yeah, so it's a little package.
Yeah.
And it looks the same kind of size as the tarot. Maybe next picture.
Da, da, da.
Da-da-da. There we go.
Oh, there
So
we
there
go.
it is. So they're all multicolored cards,
Yeah.
and you'll recognize that these are in the colors of the chakras.
Okay.
So red is the root chakra. Chakras are considered energy wheels. Chakra is a Sanskrit word for wheel. And it's considered we have energy systems in our bodies that are often labeled chakras in different traditions. And they're often assigned colors, so red, orange, yellow, green, etc. So I designed the cards to be also relating to chakras. You'll notice also that there is a key word.
Yeah.
Instinct
Yeah.
is the first one.
Uh-huh.
And 1A and 1B, there's two sides, so 1B is luck. So they're not pure opposites, but they are kind of conceptually opposite.
So it's kind of like in tarot, if the card's upside down, it means
Yes.
something different. So
Yeah.
here, but you've got them very explicitly.
Yes, I wanted to put all the information on the card because I love the tarot and I love other information systems, oracle systems,
yeah.
but they generally require a little book.
Yeah,
And-
a lot of interpretation
Yeah,
or whatever.
and I did
right?
make the tiny little book that goes in, but really the cards are self-explanatory.
Okay.
So there's a key word and then there's a sentence on there as well, and then a picture. So let's have the next picture, please.
Dun, dun, dun. Oops.
Yes, that's me.
Here's Veronica.
What's there's so yeah, Chris is work.
Oh, there he is.
There we
Okay,
go.
so we have the
This is the layout.
yeah. So we have the cards, we have the little book,
Yeah.
and we have a specific layout. So as with any oracle system, when you're mixing the cards up and you want to get information, it's good to have something specific in your mind. So, and we're going to do one on Q later, yay. But this is, I gotta be honest, this was my reading for me. When I first wrote the little book, this is the demo I used. How can I improve my health? Because you may recall that I was crippled with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 29 and spent the next many years with my hands and claws on heavy drugs and recovered my health through dowsing. That's how I got into dowsing. So I'm still dealing with residual energies that may or may not support my health. So when I ask the question, how can I improve my health? This is a question I've asked every day since 1982, many times a day.
That is an amazing story that you were actually able to use dowsing to.
I recovered my health,
That's amazing.
absolutely.
And since the last time you were here, actually, I have to say, I got some kind of weird arthritis thing in this finger right here that just kind of came out of
Right.
nowhere.
How is it now?
It's still affected to some degree.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That could be what we were talking about
Maybe.
doing a reading for you.
yeah.
You might ask, what are the causes of the pain I'm feeling or the discomfort I'm feeling?
Yeah.
Because these things work.
But I might do something different too.
Oh, you might do something too. Well, it depends if you
Something
want.
different.
You can do whatever you want.
Okay.
But there's different ways you can lay out the cards, but this is the way I've developed the life card layout. And things go down in an order and sequence, and we look at color, number, keyword, and phrase on that. So let's start the next slide, if you please. So this was my actual reading.
Oh, I see. So here we go.
So here we go.
So that's the first card you turn over.
That's the first card we turn
The one
over,
in the
and
fir-
that's me now. It's the keyword is scarce.
Yeah.
It's hard to survive when resources are hidden.
Right.
Which there he is. Which is exactly me,
Yeah. Probably a lot of people.
and a lot of people, and not. Oh, very nice. Thank you.
See? Technology.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So this is in the position of me now. Scarce. It's hard to survive when resources are hidden. The card is red, relating to the root chakra. So for me, it's like basic survival. It's not like self-actualization. It's like, how am I going to survive? Resources are scarce. So then my goal, and number 2, if we can have the next slide. Okay, and maybe blow that up. My goal then, like, where am I trying to go with all this? Because if we don't
Yeah.
know where we're trying to go, how are we going
Right.
to get there?
Experience.
So my goal is experience, know the truth through interaction. And it's light blue, which is a throat chakra communication. So it's if in order to achieve my goal of better health, I need to experience and know the truth through interaction. And this image is quite fun because it's two people looking at each other but turning away at the same time. It may be hard to see that on the camera.
Well, no, I can see.
But in order to achieve my goal of better health, I better use my throat, my
Yeah.
communications, and
Oh,
have more experience.
I see.
Then number 3, the far past. This is where I've come from. This is all very embarrassing too.
Oh,
Okay, so let's blow that up. So in the far past, and when we talk about past, depending on the reading, we can be talking about this past
yeah.
or other past lives.
Uh-huh.
So that's something to consider.
How
So,
would you know the difference?
well, I would dose it.
Okay.
which is true. So in my far past, where I come from, this is very lovely, and this is what makes me think this is maybe a past life thing. This is the crown chakra card, which is your spiritual connection to the divine. The compassion card is a very spiritual card. Be kind to yourself, you are them. So that's a real unity conscious.
But who's them?
Everything else. Well, it's non-duality. Be kind to yourself, you are them.
I see.
So it's like unity consciousness as opposed to me and them.
It's like we are one.
Yeah, we are one. You got to do it this way.
I go like this, but then I say upside down gorilla. It's another story.
That's a long story. So that's my far past. So this is the context. And let's go to the next one, the past. More recent past is lazy. So perhaps I have been lazy. I mean, I got to say this. This is what the cards are telling me. I've been lazy. You get what you deserve. In a way, you get what you deserve. You can take these things many ways, but the fact that it shows me as being lazy, I wouldn't have thought I was lazy, but there you are, I'm lazy. And that's yellow. It's in the solar plexus, personal power, meaning my personal power is being zapped out because I'm being too lazy. So it's like, get off your butt and do something. Let's look at number 5. So this is what's coming up soon. And soon, for me, I've got the word religion. Formal structures create tribes. So the opposite of that, or the bottom of that, is spirituality. But religion is, in this context, can be taken, you can either talk about going to church, or it's a dogmatic approach. Religion, and no insult to anybody, but religion is a structure, a formal structure of rules. And the formal structures create the tribes.
Yeah.
And in my sensibility, that it's nice to have a tribe, but
Yeah.
what we seek is community.
Right.
A community of tribes. As soon as you have tribes, there is us and them,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So bring the tribes together and have community. So that's what's coming up for me is more structure. So down here is what's holding me back from gaining better health
Right.
and through experience And oddly, whole, another spiritual card related to crown chakra, is in a blockage. So it's a blockage for me. We are created by our interactions. So you wouldn't think that being whole is a blockage, but since it is in the blockage position, really the cards help you think about what's going on in your life and what are you doing. So earlier with my goal, we saw, well, communication is good, interaction is good, but I shouldn't, in this case, I should not be created by my interactions. I'm taking it as that. Like if I allow my interactions to define me, then I may not be reaching my goal. So I have another blockage down at the bottom, number 7. And the blue card, assumptions, that is in the brow chakra, which is in intuition. So a blockage for me is an assumption, and the phrase there, many forms disguise themselves as truth. So it's as if I'm going through my healing process, trying to get better, and I'm making assumptions, and there's these, oh, this is going to be great, but these forms are disguising themselves as truth. So I have to be extremely careful not to make assumptions. And the next one is the helpers. So I've got things working against me. And here's another one, number 8. Again, this is in the throat chakra, because it's the light blue. And a helper card for me is hide. Obscuring the facts prolongs the agony, which it's odd that hiding would be a helper. But maybe, I mean, and it's all just interpretation, right? And
Right.
this is all about me. So I know something of myself, but if we really knew ourselves consciously, we wouldn't have to do anything. We would just go, oh, I'm enlightened.
Yeah, we wouldn't need the cards.
We wouldn't need the cards.
Yeah.
But so it may be that it would be helpful for me to hide a little more. And I'll tell you something very personal, that there's the outgoing person, and then there's the actual person that's like deep inside there. And people don't even know there's two different ones. So when I'm out presenting and giving workshops and conventions, there's this like bold power there, which really has not a lot to do with Susan Collins. That is,
I get it.
frying eggs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Anyway, another helper. Let's look at the other helper on this one. Number 9, the 9th position, duality. So a helper for me is duality. It's in the orange color, which is your sacral chakra. And there are sides to everything. Balance what cannot be united. There are sides to everything. So, I'm always talking about unity consciousness. Oh, that's where we're supposed to go. But it may help me in my quest for better health to have more of a sense of duality. Instead of that far past where I was compassionate and I am them and they are me and it's all, all for the good of everything. It may help me to be a little more separate in my relationships. So that's the context of what we're doing, and then the next slide, number 10, is the outcome, and this is like the wild card.
Then you got that for your outcome.
Yeah, unknown. Outcome is unknown. Whoop, let's go back. Growth comes through exploration. So it's like, well, there's no easy answer. You got to keep looking. So I've since I was crippled up in 1982, I have spent the last 40 whatever years trying to find these answers. And so I'm still directed to explore, and the outcome is still unknown. Don't know where we're going. So number 11 is the influencer card. So there is all that, but it's the stuff that's beyond our control. So in my case, in this reading, how can I improve my health? The influencer is past life, and that's the blue card, so it's related to the brow, intuition. It says, finish with the past to create the present, be here now. So my past was being compassionate. Like, it's interesting, right? Like these interesting things come up. It serves as a basis of discussion and different ways to think about what's going on. And it may be that I need to, I've tried to do a lot of things in my years on the planet, and my years in whatever past there was before that. But maybe it's time to finish that to create the present. And interesting, if the future life is the same thing, the future is the future is a form of the present, to be here now. Either way, this is the only moment. We have to be in this moment. So that's the influencer out there that is kind of beyond my control. So for me, then we can look at the overview. Well, what are the colors here? The me card was red, which is the root chakra.
Mm-hmm.
I have only one card in survival.
Mm-hmm.
I have 0 cards in the heart chakra. There's nothing in emotion.
What does that mean?
That means that in my reading, there's no emotions. And then I'm not directed to emotion. And I've spent a lot of time, as many of us do, on this journey of, I talk about compassionate detachment. So I don't get emotional. I don't go nuts. I don't get angry. My kids used to talk about my angry voice. My angry voice is completely neutral. And that was my angry voice, which I thought was funny because they never heard me yell, which is good. But there's no emotion in there. So that's something to think about. There's also only one yellow card, which is the solar plexus, which is your personal power. So there's only one relationship card. So these red, orange, yellow are the lower chakras. So in my reading, there's not a lot going in the lower chakras. To be successful as humans, and for me to get into good health in this body, I probably need to pump up my lower chakras more, which is survival, relationships, and personal power. What I am strong in, the light blue, I've got 2 in throat chakra, communication. I've got 2 in indigo, which is brow, and I've got 3 in spiritual. So it's no accident professionally I'm working in this. I'm making money.
Well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, would there be or should there ideally be a balance of all the different colors?
Well, that is one. I would say yes.
Right.
I think that would be a healthier balance. I think it's very rare to see, and I don't know whether you've ever had a photo taken with your chakra colors. The special cameras, you sit there and then they can take the. Nobody is ever that perfect. It's
Right.
very, very rare.
Well, plus people. Well, for example, you're dealing in these spiritual issues, right? So you would. I would think it would be a good thing to have a lot of purple in there.
Well, it is, as when I am being that spiritual person.
Right.
But when I'm going, how can I improve my health? That's like this body,
Yeah.
so I can function, so I can keep walking.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
So let me. How did you get into this? How did you? What really motivated you to really do this, to design
Thank you.
this?
That's a good question. What motivated me really was that much of my material is hard to understand when I talk about the detection and transformation of energy. So I've been teaching this for about 15 years. I've written all the books. I've got 30 videos on my YouTube channel. Yet people don't seem to be able to pick it up. And I go, well, what is it about me that is doing this, that can do it? I improve my health. Some people can. I must say that I do get testimonials. People do improve their lives. They jump in and they do the work. But I was talking with another guest as I was waiting to come in. Sometimes people don't want to know the source of the problem because it's safer and more comfortable just to have our little lives. And just to, we go to the grocery store and it snows and not to have to deal with bigger issues. So when so the cards allow you very gently and very safely, because you're doing it yourself and nobody's judging you. It's like you go to the doctor and it's white coat syndrome, right? Like the doctor scares you. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that when I show up and I do a reading for somebody, like I terrify people. I know I do, because I had a client, and he said at the end after he got to know me that looking at me was like looking into the eyes of his cat. And I thought, well, that's an interesting thing.
Is that good or bad?
Well, it's like, the way a cat will look at you, it's just, I think it unsettled him a bit. And you asked me how I describe myself. I describe myself as a personal management consultant because if I describe myself as a professional psychic, then that just freaks people out. When I started doing this, my friends didn't want to look in my eyes, right? Because they thought I was reading their minds all the time. So that's that duality. Like sometimes I'm this being that knows things, and sometimes I'm just, I just gotta fry eggs in the morning. So why did I start doing this? So it's another tool. So for me, the primary tool for health and investigating the energy around us, my primary tool is dowsing, where we can develop our intuition and dialogue directly with other dimensional beings. So I'm speaking at the Alien Conference, Alien Cosmic Expo at the end of June. Everything is on my website, by the way, but end of June out at the Toronto Marriott at the airport, Alien Cosmic Expo. And I'm working, it'll be my 4th year or so, working with them, because a lot of people experience things. There's the alien experiencers who honestly, 100% in their hearts, they experience certain things. So I work with them. I work with them from where they are. And my universal message generally, whether it's your physical self or your psychic self, your energy self, that it's important to develop psychic protection.
Protection.
Psychic protection. I'd like to come back and do another whole thing on psychic protection.
That would be awesome.
Because
Protecting yourself from human beings, or protecting
And
yourself from people who've passed over?
alien invasions.
You mean people from another planet, or people from the
Well, they're
spiritual
not people.
realm?
They're not people. We are beings. We are human beings.
Okay.
And there are other sorts of beings. I remember a friend of mine committed suicide, and I do communication. After he woke me up, he called me. He had a special name for me. A couple of days after he died, he called my name, woke me up, and I was taking transcription at the time, sort of message chart, and he writes, "I am being," and I was waiting. I am being what? I am being what? And it was like, I am being. So this man is now dead. He's killed himself, and it's like a few days later he's going, "Holy shit, I'm still being." Like, he changed the state, he changed the form, but his consciousness was still there. And I have to say, he kind of regretted what he had done, because this was not the answer. And I would suggest that to anybody. And I've had clients who do consider suicide because they can't control their experience of something else they can't explain. So this is normal. We're sitting here as physical human beings. But when people look over and see other beings in the room, or they encounter them in their bedrooms, or there's many abductions. People talk about going up in spaceships. I'm not saying it's real or not real, but they experience it.
The experience is real.
The experience is real.
Yeah.
So one of the things I do, I start with people, like if you go to a doctor, they'll tell you you're nuts, and they'll give you drugs. So what I do, working with people who are uncomfortable with these experiences, is we start from the experience and then work through it. So there's something called the amygdala hijack, which I'll come and do another program on that. This is the place where emotionally traumatic memories are stored in the brain and we can't access them consciously. So people are being triggered. Anyway, why did I do these cards? It's another tool. It's another way to create discussion around an issue or a goal. Now, did you want to have a reading on you? Is there time?
Well, yeah, but I mean, first of all, I don't know if we have enough time. Hopefully, how long will it take?
Oh.
Because we got other guests.
Okay.
But I don't want to.
You know what we
I don't
can
want to. Plus, I also want to make sure we tell everybody everything that you're doing, because you're going to be
Okay.
in Kitchener.
Okay, yes.
When? Saturday, April 28th? Let's just do that quickly
Okay,
first.
so
And it's all on your website.
yes.
You're going to be in Kitchener.
I'm going to be in Kitchener on Saturday, April 28th, full-day workshop, Get Healthy with Dowsing. And these are very specific dowsing techniques that I teach people how to talk to your body. So over the last 6 months, I recovered my hearing loss and eliminated tinnitus. And if you talk to an audiologist, and I had the hearing test done. They'll say you can't recover it.
Mhm.
Birds and fish can recover it. So anyway, we'll talk about techniques. April 19th, tomorrow, I'm at North York Dowsers, Canadian Society of Dowsers at June in Burlington, the Alien Cosmic Expo. I'm down in California in July, and I'm teaching workshops in Japan next month. I leave in 2 weeks. And we're teaching a lot of this material in Japanese. And in fact, my sponsor has translated this book into Japanese. And
The
I'll
book or the whole cards?
the book. So the little book. Wherever
Oh, the little book that, the little,
the little book. So this will be
instruction book.
this will be
Yeah.
in Japanese. The cards are numbered, so it's very easy. So these little
Oh,
things. will-
perfect.
Yeah, and in fact, I put the numbers on so they could be translated.
Wow,
Yeah,
beautiful, yeah. Then you just have to translate the book, you don't have to print new
Yeah.
cards.
yeah. So many things going on. Everything on my website, dowser.ca.
Dowser.ca.
All
That's-
this and more.
All this and more. Okay, so that's great. Maybe we can
You could pick
do the
You could pick one card. Like
one card?
How long
Yeah,
have you
let's
got?
do one card. Yeah, we got time for one card.
Okay, so sir,
Yes,
may I call you sir?
yes.
Now we're going into session.
Okay.
Okay. Now, you could hold it in your lap.
Yeah,
Okay, do it just
Should I shuffle them?
rather than on the table. Yeah. So think about in your mind.
yeah.
You're going to pick one card and ask for useful information that will help you at this time, but not just shuffle. You want to mix them so they're upside down. Like
No, I know.
you know,
I'm gonna do some of that too.
you're going to do something. I'm watching you.
You know.
I'm watching you carefully.
And what about that thing, you know that thing that they do?
No, don't do
Don't
that.
do that?
No,
It's
I'm
gonna
going to give
bend
you
the
your own
cards,
deck,
right?
sir. Sir, now that you're
See, I'm flipping them back and forth.
yeah, that's good.
See what I mean?
See what I mean? See what I mean?
I got that from Trailer Park Boys. You know, J-Rock, he's my hero.
Okay, I want you to think about. You're going to pick one card.
Yeah.
You get back what you put out. So this is the classic example of people not really doing the work.
Oh, because I'm not thinking about it,
You're not thinking
right?
about it. You're joking with me. You're joshing around.
Okay, I flipped a few around now, so
Okay.
now I'm just gonna,
Focus on what you want to know.
my subconscious is working, so.
Get the subconscious on that.
Okay. All right. No, okay, I think I'm good. And I'm gonna cut the deck,
Okay?
yeah.
Then bring one up.
Just one up, the top from the top?
Well, wherever you want.
Okay. All right, I'll do the top card.
Okay. Okay, so hold it up for the camera.
This is the way I'm looking at it,
It is.
right?
And it's sad.
It's
Oh,
sad.
see,
Wow.
we said it would be embarrassing. What's the number on that? I'm going to read you the thing.
It's number 22B.
22B. So then I look up in my little book.
What does it say?
Oh, here it is again. You got it? Hi.
Okay. Sad. What's the?
Okay,
what's
do
the
you want to
reading?
read it out?
I'll read it. It says, feel fear for the right amount of time.
Right on.
Okay.
So not knowing what your issue was, and you certainly don't have to say it, because it's honestly can be very intimate.
Mm-hmm.
And then I in the little book, I have a
Mhm.
comment on that. Life can be joyful, but happiness comes from within, and we can't give it to anyone or buy it for them. It's okay to be sad, but don't wallow.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you could tell me what you're thinking about, but you don't have to.
All right.
But that's the information.
Okay.
And what chakra is that?
Green,
Green.
that's the heart. Is it
Heart.
time for Veronica to do one?
Yeah, let's get her to do a one.
Pick a card.
A one
Pick
card.
a card. Okay. Let's just stick that back in and then just mix them all in different directions. So there's also a chakra layout, which I didn't show up, but it's one card at a time going up.
Right. So, in other words, even the reading you gave, which was all the cards, there's more layers to it than that.
Yeah.
There's the color layer. There's
The keyword,
yeah.
the phrase,
Mhm.
the color relating to a chakra, and then the image, which is just a key.
Wow.
So the cards, like picking one card, doesn't give you.
Well. Sorry, finish your sentence. Finish your
Well,
sentence.
Picking one card out of context is not as complex. Doesn't give you as rich a reading.
no, of course not.
Yeah,
So this
so-
is kind of cheating here, but
Okay,
It's
so
not
it's
cheating.
What
So
do you
what'd you
got?
get?
clear.
What's the number?
When 35A, when the intention is focused, the path is found. Wow.
Wow, I thought the card was wow.
Yeah.
No, but,
Wait, does that hit you?
in terms
that
of my
hit-
question,
Oh, yeah? Really? Wow.
Let me see what the little book says about that. 35. So
35A.
that's in the blue, right? Mm-hmm. Dark, so that's in indigo. Is that right?
Blue.
Or is that light blue?
Light blue.
That's light blue. So that's communications. That's with your throat.
Okay.
The comment in here, use all your senses to look as far as you can in all directions. Hold your goal in mind and go in the direction that seems the best. Our emotions can distract us. Put your hand on your heart. Breathe deeply. Look again and feel for the right choice. Is the comment on that.
See, I like that card. It actually tells you what to do.
The opposite is confused. Step outside the experience and find the pattern.
Yeah,
But that wasn't yours.
I
but
know,
that wasn't
it's not-
yours.
yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
interesting because people either turn the cards over sideways
Yeah, yeah.
or they flip them.
Yeah, or both.
And or sometimes they ignore the whole thing. They ignore everything. I had my first full reading feedback from a client was that she had laid the cards out in some completely different way. But she was happy with what she got. She got information
yeah,
from
yeah.
what she got.
Of course, right?
Yeah, because it's a personal vocabulary.
Yeah.
And it challenges, it can challenge us. So I think I'm perfect, right? I think I'm so smart and perfect. I'm such a spiritual being, oh my God. But they go, you know what, you're lazy. Okay, so it helps you kind of look at what's going on with yourself.
Well, Susan, this is great. So people can get a deck of these cards from your website, can they?
Absolutely, order online or any of the books, or
Yeah.
register for the courses. The cards are $25,
Right.
and plus shipping. That's, yeah.
And it's worth it. It's worth its weight in
And
life-changing stuff.
I would like to give you a deck.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Thank
well.
you. Thank you.
What's fun is that they haven't been opened yet, so you get all those pretty colors all in a fan.
Oh, so I can learn how to do this and do it myself, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the point.
Fantastic. And people can go to your website, dowser.ca, find out about all your events, sign up, get the cards, get the books, all that stuff. And you're going to come back. We came up with at least 2 new topics.
Yes, psychic protection. I would really like to do that.
Okay. I got some ideas about that too.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. And thanks, Veronica.
Thank you for inviting me to be part of this.
And we got more coming up because Liquid Lunch is only about halfway through. Well, hopefully a little more. We'll be right back. Thanks.